Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It is time for the first look with me and the president of the Will Levis fan club. His name is Trevor Hillstrom. We trust in Trevor. It didn't work out very well for us last week.
No, I had too much Levis and Ridley. I was too confident. Really didn't even get a catch.
Well, he got 8 targets.
Yeah.
To his credit, he got 8 targets. But, look, I don't mind the thinking it should have been better. But when you're averaging 3.5 yards per completion, I mean, that's like Pee Wee League. That's really, I mean, he had 16 completions. Did you see that for 95 yards?
Yeah.
You're not winning with that.
There was a play. It was third and 18 from the 23, and they showed the Colts had scored, or showed Tennessee had scored. I was like getting excited, and it was a Pollard 23-yard run.
He looked good, right? And with Spears out, he's going to be good again. But I've got this philosophy: no more bad quarterbacks. I don't want to hear the name Levis, Watson, anybody who stinks. I don't want you. I don't want you anymore. Can't win money that way. All right, let's get to this week's slate. Let's kick it off. Tennessee and Buffalo. Let's get to Tennessee for a second, but I'm really not going to Tennessee. I'm going to Buffalo. Can't run on Tennessee. Is this an Amari Cooper week? Welcome to Buffalo, Amari Cooper. Is this let's feed him, or does he not know the routes yet? Does he have to get used to Josh Allen?
You would think he has to get used to him a little bit. I mean, it's a pretty quick turnaround. I'm really not interested too much in the Bills side of things in this game. I mean, it's hard to go against Josh Allen and not play him in the lineup for 2, but I just don't like what I see out of their offensively. So,
yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. All right. The game that I think you're going to be interested in, the game I know I'm interested in, is your Minnesota Vikings against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Right now, my first look is Darnold, Jefferson, bring it back with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know it's going to cost me a fortune, but I don't see how that doesn't work, especially now that Hutchinson's out, which was a horrible injury. I'm praying for him and his family. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, Minnesota lets up a lot of yards to slot receivers. Jefferson always feasts on the Lions. Darnold does look great. Are you in with me, or are you out?
Oh, I'm definitely in. I like it. Is expensive. You're going to have to find some pay down players elsewhere. But I do like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Another guy I like from Detroit is Laporta. The Vikings have given up 2 million maker tight ends this year in Kraft and Kittle. So, but the one thing I say about the Vikings, I don't want to sound like a homer. I've only seen a team move the ball on them when they've been up by multiple scores. For some reason, that's including San Francisco, that's the Packers. Nobody's moved the ball on them unless they're up 2 or 3 scores. But
you don't think that? So you're saying that you don't want to play St. Brown?
I do want to play St. Brown, but I am a little bit tempered because you're paying a lot of money for 2 wide receivers, and you're really going to cut yourself short elsewhere. But the philosophy is great. They should put up points. There's no doubt about it.
What about your guy Jordan Addison? Is this a Jordan Addison week?
Well, I like him too. In the lineups that I'm not got Jefferson in, I'm playing Addison. One of those guys is going to cook. They both could. But definitely, if you got lineups where you're not playing Jefferson, I'm playing Addison to save money. I like them both.
What about, I'm going to give you some more guys in this game. You mentioned Laporta, Jameson Williams. Do the Vikings line up well against him?
They haven't allowed anybody to really beat them deep. Nobody's really gone deep on them yet. But thing about Detroit is they impose different problems that the Vikings haven't seen because their offensive line's so good. They can pick up the Vikings blitz plays. So if they can that's where the game's going to be won and lost. If they can pick up the Vikings blitz plays, then Detroit's going to be able to throw the ball on the Vikings, no doubt about it. If they can't, no. But yeah, Jameson Williams is a fine play. I think every piece in this game is you can make a case for it, except for Montgomery. I don't like Montgomery. I like Gibbs more if you're going to go the running back route. And Aaron Jones, I like a little bit only because his ownership is going to be really low. And I think Detroit's going to have to blitz more because Hutchinson's out, and that might leave him susceptible to some running back passes. But
Do you think Jones plays, or do you think Ty Chandler plays?
it sounds like he's playing. People are speculating because they for some reason they traded for Cam Akers again this week, which I don't really know why.
Well, that made sense to me because he's familiar with O'Connell, right?
He
So
looks
you just
washed.
need a guy there to just like be in the room who knows the plays.
He looks washed. He looks old and slow.
Who was their third guy before? Myles Gaskin?
Yeah, that's true too. But yeah, Jones is going to play. I've been reading the Minneapolis papers. He's been practicing. He's going to play. Now, will they give him a full workload? We'll see how that goes. But
no, I think they split. I do. I think you got to be careful with Jones.
I don't know. This is a big game for the Vikes. Big game, big time. We got to see if they're for real.
Does Malik Neighbors return? I think he does. I think he's finally healthy. Do we like him against Philadelphia? And you've got the Saquon Barkley revenge narrative game. Do we pay up for Saquon?
Well, yeah. I'm not paying up for Saquon in a lot of lineups. I do like him, though, in a revenge game. There's this to find value on the slate. I'm trying to look at other backs, and there's another back that's priced by him that I like more. But, Saquon is, he's in a good spot. Revenge game or not, you always got to like Barkley at some level.
Well, that's
and I do like Neighbors. I think Neighbors is going to play. I think Neighbors, if he's priced under 8,000, which he is, I believe he's like 7,500. I think
7,500.
You have to. He's always in consideration because he's going to get 10 targets.
Look, he is going to be up to 8,000 in another week.
Oh.
So this is almost like your last discount before you'll never be able to get this guy under 8 moving forward.
Right.
But the problem is that if I go with Jefferson and St. Brown, I can't sniff these guys near my lineup.
Right.
So it's like I got to make a choice, which I hate making. All right, Cincinnati and Cleveland. So let me just throw something at you here. I mean, Cleveland's disgusting, but is Nick Chubb interesting? Nick Chubb is coming back. Cincinnati, not the greatest against the run. Can we buy into Nick Chubb at all?
I'm not buying into Nick Chubb because I don't think he's going to get a full workload. But what do I know? I'm not in the Cleveland's room. Cincinnati, they do give up yards. Their defensive line is back intact. I think Foreman's going to be involved too. So I'm kind of out on Chubb for this week.
Now, Joe Burrow does not do as well against pressure. Cleveland's going to bring the heat.
Yeah.
Do we think that this is a week to avoid Burrow and Chase and Higgins?
Yeah, I don't plan on playing much of them at all. And I don't think Burrow's going to have a great game. It wouldn't surprise me if one of Chase or Higgins does. One of them is going to probably do well. I mean, I don't think they're going to shut them both down. But would I put them in a lineup? Higgins' price is starting to creep up a little bit. And if you're going to pay for Jefferson, you're not going to pay for Chase.
No way. Right. You can only really get one of those guys and feel good about it.
Yeah, you're going to want Jefferson.
All right. Houston is playing Green Bay. I think this game could be sneaky. This game has all the sneaky firework games written all over it here to me. It's only at 47.5, Trevor, but if this game was 57.5, I feel like I have to have some parts of this game. Which parts do you like?
Well, Green Bay is tough because, you don't know who the ball's going to as well. Last week, Dobbs come out of nowhere, got 2 touchdowns. Watson did pretty good. So it looks like Wicks is going to be out. So, Reed's always good, but Reed's up over 7,000. So if I got other receivers I want over 7,000 than him that I know are going to get the volume. It's a tough game.
Dobbs is 5,500. Would you go down? What about Kraft, who did nothing last week? Is he interesting at 4,600?
I'm done with Kraft for pretty much because if you look at the 2 games he did well, he was uncovered. He didn't even cover him. So when a team covers him, he's pretty much not. And the Texans are pretty good against the tight end. Watson kind of interested me a little bit, Christian Watson, because he's under 5,000, I believe,
He is.
and he makes some sense because you can get in the bigger players from other games. Now I really like the Texans side a little bit more, not because I think the Texans are just going to blow out the Packers or anything like that. I just think the volume is more defined. Like, Mixon's going to get the ball 20 times.
Right.
And now that Collins is out, you got Dell and you got Diggs. Well, I really like Dell more because he's priced lower, and he's going to get the second. He's not going to get the coverage Diggs gets, and the second receiver can be very dominant against Green Bay. You look at the Cardinals last week; they were slipping and sliding all week last week against the Packers. I mean, they were falling down everywhere. I think Texans have come in. This is going to be a good game. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch it.
I know this is a game you want to watch. Now, it's interesting. You mentioned Diggs, you mentioned Diggs, but Diggs is 7,700. You mentioned Dell 6,500. You're not getting any bargains in this game. You're getting good players, but there's not a lot of value here.
No, but one of those guys is going to shine. One of them is going to go for 100 yards and a touchdown, and I think it's going to be Dell.
Is that enough? Let's say Dell goes 6 for 100 and a touchdown. So what am I looking at there? 13, 19. So 25 would be enough to win.
Yeah.
All right. So it better be Dell because Diggs is going to cost me too much money.
Yeah, Diggs is out. I mean, if you're playing Diggs, you're playing a lot of lineups. If you're playing 3 to 10 lineups like a lot of people do, then Diggs is out.
All right. Let's get to another interesting game. Seattle against the Falcons. Vegas has this at a 51 spot here. It's a big number. Big number. Now, look, there's a lot of ways this game could go. This game could be a shootout. This game could be the must-have game. Or this could be a Kenneth Walker and Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier run fest. How do you think it goes down?
I think it's just going to be a good mix. I think both teams are going to mix it up well with both the run and pass. I know Seattle's going to want to try to run the ball first. But, the Falcons' pass defense isn't so bad. I mean, they're pretty good. But and Geno looked pretty bad the last time I saw him. But that was against a different type of defense. So, definitely this game could ball out in many ways. Metcalf might be priced a little bit too high for me. I'm probably going to avoid Walker in most of my lineups. I think he could do well, but there's just other backs I want.
Walker's 70. He's like the 4th most expensive guy in the slate.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah. What about JSN?
Well, that was what I was going to get to. He's just a guy. He's a guy that can go 2 for 18, or he can go 5 for 16 a touchdown. If you get that, I mean, he can win a slate for you, but he's only going to put those numbers up once every 3 games. So,
but he's no bargain either. He's 5,900.
Yeah, he's getting up there too. So
even if he goes 5 for 80 and a touchdown, let's say he goes 5 for 80 and a touchdown. I mean, is that worth the 20 points?
The rest of your lineup better be pretty much perfect.
Right. I don't know whether I could take down a tournament with that, but I do like the player. On the other side, what's your thoughts on Drake London? What's your thoughts on Mooney? What's your thoughts on Ray? What's your thoughts on Kyle? I am the Pitts.
I like to always go with Mooney in this situation. I think was Witherspoon going to be on London, so I kind of like Mooney a little bit more, and he's cheaper. I think you're going to need that lower price piece from this game somewhere to win. Somebody is going to come from somewhere, and it's just hard predicting. I mean, Mooney, it could be Mooney, it could be Ray McLeod. Pitts, I kind of like Pitts, and then I kind of don't like Pitts. You know what? He always seems to burn me when I'm playing him, and then when I don't play him, he kind of has a good game, but he just hasn't shown enough consistency.
He's not on my radar. I mean, honestly, for another $1,000, give me Brock Bowers, give me Kittle, give me Laporta, give me a better guy. I just don't want to pay up for Kyle Pitts.
Right.
All right, got that one done. So let's talk about Miami, Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson should be back. Huntley's there. You got Tyreek. We don't know what's going on with Taylor or Chan. Are there plays in this game, or does this feel like a fade?
I like Tyreek Hill. He's 7,300. His last game out, he went 6 for 68. I think they're coming off a bye. He's priced down. The Colts secondary stinks. Can Huntley just give him 8 catches? Give him 8 catches for 80 and a touchdown, 8, 9. Can he get there? But that's the only guy I would think about. Well, a Chan I like if he plays in FanDuel, especially because he is priced way low and he is really way underpriced in FanDuel.
Let's see. On FanDuel, what is it? A Chan is 6,900.
Yeah, I mean that's cheap.
Do you think a Chan plays?
Well, I don't know because you read the reports. He's been in practicing in the red shirt. So if he doesn't play, then
Jalen Wright. Are you interested in Jalen Wright?
I'm interested in Mostert. Mostert's a full go.
Oh yeah, but what's his face? Chan had a full practice today.
Oh,
if he's practicing fully, he's playing.
So I like him in FanDuel more than I do DraftKings. Chan.
Do I love him at 6,900?
That's pretty cheap for a running back in FanDuel.
On FanDuel, that's true. FanDuel is a little.
That's like 5,900 DraftKings.
That's true. That's true.
I get him. It'd be like under 6,000 value. So he's worth a shot. The Colts defense stinks. If this is the game the Dolphins are going to do anything, they better do it.
Well, that's true. I mean, otherwise there's no hope. There's no hope whatsoever to make the playoffs. All right, let's get this next game here. There's a guy that I know you're thinking about. I'm thinking about him too. Kyren Williams, dude.
Oh,
I mean, like lock button. But I also think Brock Bowers is lock button against the Rams.
Well, when I was waiting for the link to come on, I was trying to get a lineup with Jefferson, Williams, and Bowers. How could I do it? How could I get all 3 of those in? Because those are the 3 guys I really like. Kyren Williams, he scored a touchdown in 8 straight games. He's 20+ volume. I don't know if Kupp's going to be back. If Kupp comes back, it might decrease his volume a little bit, but not really. I mean, they both can eat in this offense against the Raiders.
I don't want to give up. What's his name? I don't want to give up Amon-Ra. I don't. But if I can get Bowers and Kyren, I'd give them up.
Yeah, that's what I did in the lineup that I'll give you later. But it's tough, Or maybe I did I get Bowers in? Well, we'll figure it out when we get to that point. I can't even remember. I might have cut Bowers out, and I don't really want to because the Rams stink against a tight end.
They stink. I mean, really bad. So it's hard because there's a lot of guys in this slate I want to fit in, but I can't. I can't not put Kyren Williams on this. I can't.
Are you saying you can't put Kyren Williams?
No, I can't not put him in. I have to.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He's one of my favorite plays in the slate. I'd almost, if it come down to it, I would probably cut down on Jefferson and try to hope Addison hits.
Well, that could be right because Addison's not going to fail. He just may not explode.
But if you look at he's pretty good.
How much is Addison? How much is Addison this week?
I think he's 5,600.
So if I go Darnold and Addison and then surround it with other guys who I really like, and I take my shot that Addison goes 5 for 60 and a touchdown.
Oh yeah, and remember, in a couple games ago, they were handing it off to him near the goal line.
Right. Interesting. Okay, so we like Kyren, we like Brock Bowers. Is the Carolina-Washington game? Is this the game that I need to have?
It could be. There's so many good games with so many good matchups. That's why I like playing a lot of lineups because I'm going to have pieces of all these games that I really like. You got Jaden Daniels. I mean, could you see him? He could put up 30+ points in this game. Brian Robinson, if he plays at running back, he could be the guy that does really good. You got McLaurin. I mean, so you got those 3 guys that you're very interested in. Is McLaurin, Daniels, and Robinson if he plays.
I'm interested in Chuba without Jonathan Allen. Jonathan Allen's a load up front.
Yeah, I like Chuba too. Chuba's top 5 is like the 5th highest scoring back this year.
But he's in such a good spot. He's always around 6,500. But I mean, this guy is just. I think his ceiling this week without Jonathan Allen there could be 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and you know what stinks is I played him so much the first 2 weeks that I got ticked off and didn't play him much afterwards. And, but now I'm back on the train. Yeah, I like Chuba and I like Leggett. He could be sneaky. He's that guy that's under. Oh no, they did price him over 5,000 this week, didn't they? I had him last week and he ended up doing okay. Um, and then you got to like Deontay Johnson. I mean, you got to like parts of this game, and they're not priced to kill you.
No, they're not priced to kill you. They're priced to play, right? I mean, they're legitimately priced to play, which is, I just feel like I'm going to miss out somewhere this week. You know what I'm saying? Like, where am I missing? Because there's so many guys. I mean, Jaden Daniels, I like. I like, like you said, I like Deontay. I like them all. I like Chuba. Where do I go with it?
Yeah, there's just so many players we really, really like. And that's why I might be out on the Detroit Lions.
Now, why? Okay, let's go to this. It's funny. The optimizers last week said to be out on the Lions, and I didn't listen. It wasn't that the Lions weren't good. Everybody was good on the Lions.
Last week with Danger, I said that Dallas was going to get buried. And then I didn't play many Lions.
I didn't hear you. I had a hurricane. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I said they're going to beat Dallas up, down the whole field. And then I didn't play many Lions. I don't know what happened. Sometimes my brain, when you're making lineups, sometimes you're trying to get all these players and you just can't do it.
Well, I'm looking for what Danger said this week because where is this stuff?
He said the Detroit optimizers, the Detroit didn't optimize well at all.
Right. This week, doesn't like Lions. He says Darnold and Jefferson. Neighbors likes the Giants if the Neighbors is back.
Right.
He likes the Texans stack and says Josh Allen stack's going to be overowned. Doesn't like Cincy. Loves the Buccaneers.
How can that Allen stack be that overowned? People are really going to jump on the Bills?
Because Tennessee stinks.
But their defense isn't bad. Their offense stinks. Their defense isn't bad, though. Nobody's winning slates on the Tennessee defense, are they?
You better not be.
No, I don't think anybody's been winning any slates with picking on Tennessee. There's so many other teams to pick against. You're going
to lose money. All right, let's go to this last one here. Kansas City against San Francisco, the Super Bowl rematch here. How do we not play George Kittle?
Right. Yeah, he's another. You could play Bowers and Kittle in the utility spot.
I think I will. That was what I wanted to do.
That'll give you leverage, and you might want to get a little Laporta in there because the Vikings stink versus the tight end too.
I can't get 3 tight ends. I can only get 2.
Right. So you have to mix and match them if you're doing 3 lineups. But yeah, Kittle should have a good game against Kansas City. They gave up to the tight end. This is a tough game to really figure out. Is this the game Kansas City? They're just not explosive offensively. They're very good defensively, but they haven't been very explosive offensively. They didn't make the Saints look bad the last time up. The Saints are making everybody look good lately.
But that's because of injuries.
Right,
right. The problem in this game is the Chiefs have changed. They're not an explosive offense. They're a dink and dunk offense. They're a get the ball down the field, but time of possession offense. If that's the case, is San Francisco going to light it up? I mean, maybe this game's an under.
I think it's going to be lower scoring, just off the top of my head. But the thing about the Chiefs is now you got this Juju Schuster. He looks a little bit better. He's cheap. He has, there's got to be a receiver from Kansas City that does well in this game, doesn't there? Is it going to be Watson? Is it going to be?
He's $4,000. Oh man, they're like begging me to play this guy.
Yeah, and are we just playing him a week late? But who else is he going to throw the ball to? There's Worthy, there's Hardman.
I won't have Juju. I feel like it's a trap.
Nah, it could be.
I don't want to be a week late on somebody like Trey Tucker. I had 0 Trey Tucker last week. Felt like a week late.
Maybe he's the go-to this week, Trey Tucker.
Could be. Yeah, against the Rams. Rams are terrible.
See, here's the problem we have. We like all these players. We like Kyren Williams. We like Justin Jefferson. We like all these. Where is the big paydown guy? Where is that $4,000 guy going to come from? I mean, why not somebody from Kansas City? There's got to be somebody from Kansas City that has a decent game at receiver.
I think the play of the week potentially is Ray Davis.
Is Cook out?
I don't know the answer to that question, but I know at 5,200, it gives me the salary relief I need to work some other things into a lineup.
Last Sunday I did pretty bad on the main slate, but I made it all back on the showdown slates because I had Tyrone Tracy as my captain on Sunday night, and I came back with a lot of Ray Davis on Monday night. Yeah. So anytime those two are starting, they're almost lock button plays. Tyrone Singletary's back though, I believe. So
what about Calcaterra that Permar just put out? 3,200. That's pretty good salary relief.
I mean, it's worth a shot. I mean,
the Giants though have been historically bad against tight ends, but this year, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're actually decent. Yeah, they've only let up 241 yards to tight ends, no touchdowns.
Right. Another guy, this one, I just hate saying this guy's name but he's 3,200. He might get more volume than Elijah Moore. I mean, it stinks that he's with the Browns, but you could buy so many big time players with him. I mean, you can fit in your bigger players with him.
Well, I think there will be a Brown. So whether it's Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore, Thrash, the rookie from Louisville, who was a pretty good player in college, one Brown will be needed, I think, to make lineups work.
At what point does Kevin Stefanski say enough of this Watson and bring in Jameis Winston? I mean, I understand why they're doing it. They got so much invested in Watson, but isn't there a point in time where you just say, I've had enough, and you bring in Winston? It's not going to happen, is it?
It can't. Honestly, as much as I want it to happen, because I'm a Tampa Bay guy, you know that, I've lived down here. It can't happen, because once you do that, you have $70 million sitting on your bench.
He's pretty much sitting on the field. And I don't know if you watched, I watched this rah stuff before. Is Jameis Winston leading the charge before the game starts? He's got everybody in the huddle and giving the pep talk. Watson is nowhere to be found. I mean, I'm sure the players would love it if Winston came in, but
don't you think this could be a Nick Chubb week for that reason? I get what you're saying. But both their tackles are back. Conklin is back. Teller's back, or Willis is back, and they have to run the football or they will lose.
Do you think Chubb's going to touch the ball 15 plus times? If you think he gets 15 touches,
I'll bet the over on that. But it's not going to be way.
Then I'm in.
I say he gets 16.
Yeah. How much? And Foreman's going to run too.
All right.
I've always liked Foreman as a runner. He's a hard-nosed runner.
He is a hard runner. All right. Give me a lineup. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if yours beats mine, as it always does.
Okay. Let's see. What did I tinkle with here? Let's see. What did I get? I know.
Take your time. You can get Will Levis for 4,700.
Well, this is my first lineup that I was thinking with. I did use Andy Dalton.
Good. I like it.
Pollard.
Running back.
Pollard.
Hold on. Yep.
I don't know if I like that as much anymore. Kyron Williams.
For sure. Okay. Wide receivers.
Tank Dell. Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Leggett.
Okay. Tight end.
Dalton Schultz. I like
Seriously?
Schultz.
Guy stinks. All right. Who's the flex?
Against the tight end. Elijah Moore.
I think I'm going to beat you. I think I'm going to have a better thing than you.
And then I went with the Browns.
And then the Browns defense.
Yeah, hopefully they get a lot of pressure on Burrow.
All right, 124.5 for you.
I like to be.
All right, I'm with you on the Browns defense. I think that's the no-brainer of the week. I'm going to go with the two tight end offense with Bowers, and Kittle. I'm definitely going to go Sam Darnold. I'm going to pay down, even though I don't want to. I'm going to pay down for Jordan Addison. I have to get Kyron in there because I will lose if I don't. I'm going to go with Cedric Tillman to be super cheap. And now can I get Amon-Ra? I can't get Amon-Ra St. Brown. Chase Brown's interesting. All right, I'll go Ray Davis, assuming he's not playing. And then for 7,600, I think I can get myself Malik Neighbors. I'm at 130.
I knew you were going to go with Neighbors. Yeah. I changed this danger lineup quite a bit by the time this our league that we're in. I changed that lineup quite a few times. I think I'm in first place now.
You are. I fell to fifth, but you're still in first.
Yeah, I did. I think I was all the way up to third last week, and I looked and I plummeted a little bit. But yeah.
Well, I was all in on the Dallas-Detroit game. And can I tell you my mistake? I only play 3 lineups. Right. Last week, I got this genius idea. I was going to do Dallas-Detroit with a Dallas stack in all 3 lineups, which was dumb because Dak Prescott, honestly, is so bad right now. When you're sitting on the sideline, your head down, why am I paying $60 million for that?
Yeah, I told Danger last week I didn't like the Dallas side. I said Detroit was going to hammer them.
I like Dallas this week because they're not playing.
For a minute there, I was like, am I missing something? Are they playing Monday night? No, there's 2 Monday night games this week too.
There are 2 Monday night games this week.
I like 2 Monday night games.
Well, I think that's interesting. If you want to play like the late stuff, the Monday, I do. I agree with you. I like the Jets, Steelers, Ravens, Bucks, Chargers, Cards. I would just stack the crap out of that Ravens Bucks game.
Well, I'm starting to like some of these showdown slates if I really like a guy. I won't play him unless I really like the captain. And we use the DFS Hero Optimizer. If they agree with my captain, then I'm usually I do pretty good in those slates. And if I don't really like anybody, then I stay away from them. Because Minnesota's going to play next Thursday, and I'm going to have a good article for us for the showdown slate.
Now, I always like your articles. You know that. Here's a question, though. Danger mentioned this whole thing of the week after you play the Lions, you're beat up, your team doesn't do well. Are you worried about the Vikings a week from Thursday?
Well, I'm worried about the Vikings no matter what day it is, but they're traveling out to Los Angeles to play the Rams, so I'm worried because Kupp's going to be back, but we'll see. Some trends got to fail.
All right, I won't hold you to it, but it's Wednesday night. Who's the Trust and Trevor pick for Wednesday night of the first look?
Well, besides the big-time players, I'm going to go with Xavier Legette. I think he's going to score again, and I think he's going to get in the teens, maybe 20. If we can get up in the teens and 20, I like him a lot.
He's going to Legette in the teens?
Yeah.
I think the guy that you're going to have is Brock Bowers.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he's just in a spot where I think he has to be. It's like an automatic rubber stamp. No Devonta Adams. Zamir White may be back. The Rams stink everywhere. How does Brock not go 8 for 60? I'm getting 14 points minimum with maybe a touchdown.
Yeah. I'm going to be working really hard trying to find a way to get a lineup with Jefferson, Kyron, and Bowers in it. And I'll text you what I can dig up because I'm going to be building. I got 3 days off this week, so I'm going to be building a ton of lineups and going through it all. And that's going to be it's cold here now. We can't go fishing. It's 29 degrees here.
Really?
Yeah, it's 20. Well, it was this morning with 29 degrees. So it's we're hitting the 30s in the middle.
It's so
of the
funny.
night
I just
now.
took the garbage out before, and it was kind of cold for me. For me, cold is like 65, but for you, 29, dude. I'm freezing my butt off just hearing that.
Yeah, so it's going to be lineup building time this week. No fishing.
Well, when you're making lineups, I'm listening. All right, everybody out there, remember, we're going to be Friday Night Lights this Friday about 9 o'clock with me, Willie Walls, and the great Swami Odell Blocker. Saturday, of course, SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio from 8 to 10. I gave you the Kamani Vidal anytime touchdown, the Romeo Dobbs anytime touchdown, and the Cade Otton anytime touchdown. Haven't even done the research yet. I will be over the next few days. And, of course, Sunday morning in our Discord show over at drroto.com. You can go pipe in there from 10:30 to 12. as we give out all the information we possibly can. All right, Trevor, I wish you could enjoy the rest of the week off. Good luck studying.
Oh, yeah.
All right. For everybody out there, be well and take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.
Ugh.